Right, buddy. Bruno Fernandes is expected to be out for a month with a hamstring injury. Now, in this video, we'll be talking about what the actual news is, how long Bruno's going to be out for, and what that means for Manchester United, games he's likely to miss, who's likely to come in, January window, and more. So, firstly, Bruno Fernandes. This is what Ruben Amorim said post game. It's a soft tissue injury, so it's going to take a while. We have to cope. We will find solutions. Now, immediately, listen, it was crazy seeing Bruno Fernandes walk. And be substituted off in a game for Manchester United. A player who's obviously always available, has only missed I think 3 games in his career for Manchester United due to injury, and it's looking like he's going to be out for some games. And Ruben Amorim, there's been no sort of prognosis and no actual sort of official statement yet, but the expectation is he's expected to be out for around a month. That means he will miss the game obviously on Boxing Day against Newcastle. The game after that against Wolves. The game after that will be Leeds, and I think we've got Burnley coming up as well. So we will be missing 4 or potentially 5 big games for Manchester United. Now, what does this mean for Manchester United? In terms of the immediate thing, future, Kobbie Mainoo's out as well. So we'd be missing the Newcastle game. I think it's a perfect opportunity, or it would have been the perfect opportunity to get to get Mainoo back in, but it's looking like it's going to be Martinez. One thing it can't be in terms of Bruno Fernandes being out injured, it cannot be Manuel Ugarte. I do not want to see Manchester United lining up a game with Manuel Ugarte in the midfield. He is just a very, very poor player. And I think it's time for him to get sold, if we're being honest. But listen, it's a huge blow for Manchester United. We know how vital Bruno Fernandes is to this team. We know how good he is in terms of Manchester United attacking and how good we are as a team. And I think we are going to massively miss Bruno Fernandes in this game. It's difficult. Because again he creates so much, and I think yes, in terms of the defensive side of things, we didn't really miss much of Bruno, but I definitely think going forward we're going to see a huge drop off in the Manchester United attack. Listen, Bruno's someone who's been absolutely vital to what Manchester United have done so far this season, and I think not having him in the team is going to cost us. Now, in terms of, as I said, replacements, the only one, if Mainoo's not fit, I'm talking short term against Newcastle, I want to see Martinez and Casemiro. Now, I know there's no creative spark down there, and again, that gives the opportunity to players like Cunha, Mason Mount. These players in the attack could really have to step forward. I mean, you look how crazy that game was yesterday against Aston Villa. I think for the last 15 minutes, we had a midfield of Jack Fletcher and Mason Mount. Like, obviously, that's not going to happen against Newcastle, but I think we have to go with Martinez in there, and I actually think Martinez looked alright. I know a lot of United fans have been saying put Martinez in that midfield, and he did make a difference. I think he was just doing the simple pass. He wasn't overcomplicating things. He made a few good passes, a few good interceptions. But listen, with Casemiro coming back into the team, I think that is a comfort blanket for Manchester United. He gives us that bit of security with the defence, and Martinez can be the one who can kind of be the presser. But the main concern is the creative spark, because listen, Cunha was trying to do things yesterday against Philly. Was trying to drop deep, trying to sort of control the play, create chances and do something, but he's just not a Bruno Fernandes, and I think we are really going to miss Bruno Fernandes. Now, depending on how quick he does kind of recover, we know, I think it was against a few years ago, Bruno Fernandes was in actually a leg brace, and then 3 days later he played the game against Spurs. I don't think he's going to play against Newcastle, but potentially next week against Wolves, could that be an opportunity for him to get some minutes? I'm hoping so. But yeah, listen, Bruno Fernandes being out for Manchester United, soft tissue injury is a massive concern for Manchester United. I would be really concerned about the attack. Again, it's how gutting must it be for Mainoo? I mean, the only really time Bruno gets injured, Mainoo's injured as well for the game. So we'll have to wait and see what Ruben Amorim says in his press conference. But the expectation is for Bruno Fernandes to miss a month of first team football for Manchester United. We know how good it was. I mean, you can see on his face that as soon as he pulled up, he knew it was going to be a hamstring injury, and he looked kind of confused because that never really happens to him. But in terms of January, what does that mean? I mean, Amorim has said already, United are not going to rush any signings or make any mistakes or rush anything that they don't need to do this window. So I don't expect any replacements to come in for for Bruno Fernandes, nor do I think there should be. In terms of other options, though, this is what Sky Sports have had to say. With Bruno Fernandes may out for some of January, you can't imagine a scenario where Manchester United allow Mainoo to go, and I don't think Mainoo will go. I think the game against Wolves he will start because he'll be back from injury. And again, I don't think he will see Kobe Mainoo leave, which he will be frustrated because he wants to go out, get some minutes, and come back to Manchester United. But on the other hand, it does give him an opportunity to play football for Manchester United, and that's ultimately the main thing that he wants to do. He doesn't want to be sat on the bench. He wants to be playing football, and with Bruno being injured, it gives him that sort of opportunity to come into that midfield. But yeah, it's a big miss for Manchester United. He's someone who's created the most chances. He's always available. And again, I think we really are going to see how this team copes. I mean, it's good that we do have other creative players, but you look at that injury list now: no Mbeumo, no Ahmad, no Mazraoui due to AFCON, no Maguire, no Dillet, no Bruno, no Mainoo for the next game. Like, it's going to be very, very difficult. And Amorim said, listen, there's no excuses, but and we will find solution. I mean, what that solutions are, what Mainoo and Martinez and Casemiro midfield, is that really a good enough midfield? No. You look at attack, Cunha and Mount. Yes, they've been good, but who comes on for the bench? I mean, there's not really many options to come on. And you look at Bruno's importance in the Premier League: 12 goals and assists in 17 games, and especially from a deep position now. FootMob are saying that he's going to be out for 1 to 2 weeks. I expect it to be longer than that. I think maybe 4 to 5 weeks he'll be out before we see him playing again. So yeah, it's very frustrating. Again, though, Martinez comes to that midfield, gives him an opportunity, but is he actually ready to start a game for Manchester United? We're not 100% sure. But yeah, I think we are definitely seeing Ruben Amorim make changes. We're not seeing the result. I think we're definitely going to see we have to see Martinez and Casemiro in that midfield, and I know that sounds crazy. I don't think there's not enough creativity in there, but we have to hope a Mason Mount, a Cunha, a Sesko come back, deliver for us, and hopefully we have Ahmad and Mbeumo back soon, because they're two players that we absolutely need. But Bruno is out. It's gonna be very, very, very difficult to see. Like, he's the best player in this team by far, and it's going to be difficult to see how United cope without him in the team. But this is what Ruben Amorim says: soft tissue, we have to cope. We will find solutions. There's no excuses. So yeah, Bruno will be missing for Manchester United. How do we cope? I don't think anything will come in January. I mean, potentially we now go and accelerate that move for Ruben Neves and bring him in. But again, the expectation is we probably do go out and get Semenyo, but then where does Semenyo play? But we'll talk about that later on. But we will have to wait and see what happens. But Bruno Fernandes will be out for Manchester United for around a month with a hamstring injury. It's really, really gutting, because he adds a lot to this team, creativity wise. He's a leader, he's our captain, and yeah, we just looked a bit lost with him out of the team, really. And yeah, it's probably the worst time for Fernandes to get an injury, with all the players going to AFCON and the current injuries that we have. But we're hoping Mainoo will be back for the Wolves game. And again, we'll see what happens at Newcastle.